now, the last day of KubeCon, and I am here with Axel from Confidential Computing Consortium, and this video will be confidential. Tell me more a little bit. First, thank you for your time, and so tell me more about this, because the name even sounds interesting. So,
yes. So the new era in this is that companies are trying to use the public cloud, and as the new thing on this is that in the public cloud you use the ability to control the physical server. Mm-hmm. So for that, it means that they lose control over the server, and the hypervisor administrator can then get to the physical server and creates memory dumps. Or he might not do it, but whatever, he creates memory dumps, and the memory of your VM running there
will begin in 10 minutes.
Thank you. Well,
Pages are listed on the mobile schedule and digital signage throughout the venue.
right. This is the conference, right?
So the hypervisor administrator can then create a memory dump and read all the memory in your VM is using. Yeah. And for most company, they don't like this. So that's why the cloud provider thought that could be a problem for us to sell our services to those companies. Then the cloud providers, the hardware providers, and the software providers and join together to form this Confidential Computing Consortium to make this more secure, to ensure that a cloud provider cannot look into your memory area and get some information out of this.
Right. So even if we talk about cloud providers, they ensure us about the security, that our data is secure, to even can, let's say, see it on high level, that, for example, in the cloud providers, you can see the CPU usage, but you cannot see the memory usage, because this is the part of your enclosed part, but still there is a physical memory, which can be done, right?
Yes, but they're in the CPUs. So, as I said, one part of it are the hardware providers, and the hardware providers added new functionalities in the CPU. So, and that is, for example, for TDX, it means they have an access control added to that specific area. So it knows when then a memory request comes in, mm-hmm. They see where this is leading to. They have an internal table to see if it's protected or not, and if it's protected, it just returns zeros. So there is no way to get to that memory.
That's cool, and this is something what I'm sure resonates with highly regulated sectors like banking, I don't know, some security, defense, things like that, right?
Yes. So in Europe, we have the Digital Operational Resiliency Act, mm-hmm. and this is the first EU act which now incorporates securing data in use. So the others are only targeting data at rest and data in transit, but this is the first one with data in use. So companies, FSI companies or related companies, now need to make sure that they also protect this. And the act is coming into effect in January.
Yes, that's true. But it's good and bad in both ways, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. They are not prepared yet, so yes, it's bad.
Yes, exactly. I remember how it went with GDPR. It was announced, and then we started to think, okay, but what it really means, right? And this is very interesting concept, because here we can say in a little bit crazy way that today we thought about data at rest, data in transit, mm-hmm. but now we are thinking about data in compute.
In use.
In use. Oh yeah.
That's a third state of data.
Yes. So this is something what we should remember and evaluate if we don't need it really. And I believe that looking on the list of the members, it is a growing project and quite important for many big companies.
Yes, and it's open source in action. Just only currently there's not a real standard there. There are some things which are being done to standardize this, but it's not a real standard. So from Red Hat's point of view, we now need to implement this for each cloud provider, and at each cloud provider, we need to implement for each CPU. So this is quite an extensive kind of work. And there comes the open source aspect. So we want this to be standardized.
Yes, I love this word.
So that's why then it broadens the area where people can interact. And with the broadening, they also create new solutions, new interpretations, new use cases, for example. So we're currently in the phase where we talk with customer about what it is and specifically what it means for them. So what use cases are for them that they could implement. This is where we are.
And normally I'm asking what the ordinary guy must do to start with, but today I'm still thinking that no ordinary guy is thinking about security.
There are several companies who start thinking about this. There is a tech preview out there where you can use, so one part of confidential computing is you're starting your CPU in the confidential mode, or the cloud provider does it. But you as the user of that need to make sure this is really started in a confidential way. Because they could also not start it then.
Yeah.
So there is a second part to this, which is attestation. So then the CPU creates evidence, you compare that to what you expect, and then if it's there, okay, then it seems to be running in a confidential mode, and only then you provide keys to the data you have there. So you will not have unencrypted data at the cloud provider, only when it's in a trusted execution environment, then it's being decrypted with a key. So,
that's correct. How it resonates with the audience on this conference here?
I had some customer meetings with this. The booths are a bit slow, let's say this. So if you are actively going to customers and actively talking to them, then they always say, oh yeah, that is interesting for us. Because in the end, if you now look at an outlook of this, it means currently we have a partnership with Azure, with Microsoft, and they are telling me, somebody will kill me for that there is most likely, I would say, no price difference between a normal instance and one with confidential computing. Because it wouldn't make sense, because it's the same CPU and you just turn on one switch.
And sometimes it's like, being this green today, right? When you have to separate your waste and you have to pay more because you separate it, who wants to do it? It's a like early adoption phase, right? And it must be maybe not pushed, but encouraged in some way to start using it, like Norway did with the electric cars. Right? They had a lot of good things for people who started buying them. So that is good. So now I don't want to take much of your time. So final part is like, how do you see the growth? Because we can say it will grow. I'm sure it will, because we need to start thinking about this. It's like another layer of security, another layer of trust, I would say, even not security per se, but trust when we have this shared possibilities models and so on and so on and so on, right?
So I personally see that, as I said, with the cost. So the cost shouldn't be a difference. Then also the new CPUs around from AMD and Intel all have confidential computing inside it. So I'm seeing that the cloud provider will exchange for the new CPUs in the future because the new CPUs are targeting sustainability. And they need to say that they are a sustainable company, so they will most likely switch to the new CPUs to show that they are doing something.
Yes.
And if they've done this, then confidential computing is there.
Yeah.
And you just need to switch it on.
Yes.
I'm saying that in 2 to 3 years, it will be everywhere. And it's just that checkbox you have to do. And then from a customer question, I would say, why not doing it if it doesn't cost much more?
Exactly.
And then, so I think this will be the future standard way of using the public cloud.
Yeah. It's not adding the cost. It's not adding a huge management part. It's like non-visible for the organization or the teams. Right? So why is not starting using this? Exactly.
And also, it implies security controls.
Yes.
And that means that you can. Okay, the cloud provider will hit me for this, but that you can move your load from A to B because it is encapsulated in a confidential container or compute cluster.
Yes, exactly. Great. So, how is KubeCon so far for you? it's last day, so
Yeah, it's cool. The elevation of Salt Lake City is, I'm coming from Hanover, which is on sea level. So, oh my, the air is short, but it's the atmosphere is cool. I like the organization is cool, so I like it. This is really good. Have been to Paris,
okay.
a bit smaller, but here it is huge. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. So I hope I will see you in London, and then we can say that yes, it's growing, and more companies are implementing that. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And good luck with the project. I like it very much, and I will try to like talk a lot about this on the meetups and so on and so on.
Okay, cool.
So I will check the materials and
Sounds good. And if you want to join us at CCC,
exactly do it. So thank you guys.
Okay.
See you.